Iron Man is a game that I think at first glance not a lot of people will really attach themselves to, but when it comes to the overall like game structure, I think it does a decent job. It's not going to win any awards, which seems to be a favorite phrase of mine lately, but it honestly does okay. It's described as a third-person shooter, which I think is a little odd if we're honest, but it's it's okay. So basically you have a bunch of missions that go through a rough story estimate of the first movie with a little bit of comic influence, which apparently would be pretty common for the sequel as well. But as you can see, there's quite a few missions here. Some of them are way shorter than each other. Frozen the Ship is really short, for instance. And you can fight in different areas. I do think one of the biggest problems with this game, as we'll talk about, is the type of area of effect that occurs. Let's do this one. This is kind of a favorite, but ignoring all the level issues that can occur, you get access to different armors, which aren't they don't do anything different. Uh, they don't seem to do anything different from what I can understand. It's just what you look at, and then you have your own like little level system in the game, which I won't be able to directly show because I kind of did it all, but as you use weapons and defeat enemies or kill them, if we want to be brutal here, we're going to skip this cutscene. Uh, you actually get like a little bit of an experience bar that goes up, and if you have it full when you complete the mission, you'll be able to move on into the next upgrade. I press start. Whoops. You can't skip cutscene, sadly. One of the biggest problems with this game. But overall, each mission is fun to a certain extent. Uh, there's some that I think are frustrating. There's one that's really cool that I probably should have picked out. It would have been really fun to see, where you explore islands in a pretty wide open space, which is really cool for the flying, as I'll show, because you can fly pretty freely in these maps, uh, or in some of them. Yes, you can't go out of bounds completely. There is like an invisible box that surrounds you, but overall, it's pretty good. And you can see the little experience bar. Mine's full, but yeah, you can level up and improve. Same with your armor. You get more like health or more things in general. Nice frames. But the game runs decently well for what I think is pretty open space. It's not gonna like I don't want to say it's the most impressive thing in the world, but hey, look at that. You can kind of find alternate paths, which will also go into kind of these secrets that you can find in the game, which there's really no reason to do it from what I understand. But when you enter here, I can't show it because I got it. There's weapon crates here, I believe, which you uh, then are able to, you know, uh, collect, or you destroy them, which counts as your collection meter. I have all three in this level. I have all of them because of the achievement set, but I don't really see a reason for them to exist. We're just disabling the shields, but yeah, you could also punch if you really want to, though punching is usually not a fantastic start. But we also have this, which is a little different. It's a type of machine gun. You can actually see the experience bar, weirdly enough, not be matching my experience right now. I want to see if I can actually gain it. Oh yeah, look at that. See, that's how the experience would work. This is max level, so it's kind of weird that it's doing this. Does my... No, my rocket launchers are working. But you can see how long it would have taken. This thing is an okay weapon. It's a decent sidearm. Your main damage dealer is... If you see the rocket, it doesn't do great, but your repulsors are pretty damaging. The only thing is that you're limited based on your weapon in the lower right corner. It's kind of like a recharge feature. But repulsors are insanely powerful. Also, you get the early range upgrade as long as you've used it like at all. And let me tell you, the range upgrade makes this like the best weapon in the game bar none. It is impressive how quickly it just becomes better. But the rocket launcher isn't as bad. There's different versions of the rocket launcher. I really don't like that the max upgrade is this one, which is just like it's a decent amount of damage, but it's I feel like it's a lot better in a previous iteration. But hey, this is the max upgrade one. But that's it for basically the game. It plays like there's throughout the entire thing. There's some areas where you're limited. Uh, well, that was great. But there's areas where you can't go into afterburner mode, which is basically the free flight. You can still fly like this, but you can't go into the fast speed. Whereas like out here, you can do this, and then you can go into propulsion if you want, which goes really fast. And in fact, we have an upgrade. Let me see if I can pull it off. If we run into you, there we go. Always a fun thing to do. But if you go in propulsion mode, just remember your armor and weapon is actually lowered. There's an even, which is down on the D-pad. Armor mode doesn't actually exist, but there's a weapon mode which allows you, we'll do it real quick, to go into a unibeam, which is a very powerful attack and one of the strongest in the game. It only comes up very little, though. It's better to be a repulsor and have freedom of movement for most of the game. But yeah, that's basically it. Oh, and as I said when I was streaming the game, I cannot avoid these mines every single time. You can see the revive function. I've never actually failed all 3 times to see what game over is like. But as you can see, you're back on your feet as long as you press those buttons. And if not, you'll have the emergency recharge up to 3 times. There's also ammo around if we really need. I like the silver suit a lot. Looks fun. But, and that's basically it for the game. We covered most of it. It plays decent. It's not gonna be the go-to top 100 PS2 game that you would want. In fact, I think it does struggle a bit in just making me care, because some of the missions are very boring. But overall, it does well. I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10. If I was a little more irritated at the game, if I didn't like the style of the game, because I do like this kind of floaty movement, I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10 at worst. It's a perfectly mid game with a decent little distraction. It's not a long game, even with me replaying missions for the achievements. It took me 6 hours. So if you're just gonna rush through it, maybe spend 4 hours at most. Like you're not gonna spend that much time, just in general. But ignoring that, we now need to go into the achievement set. So the achievement set on RA is pretty standard. Beat missions, unlock all the stuff. There's a couple bonus achievements with gain 1,000 kills, which is kind of weird because I don't really understand how you would get the full upgrades for all the weapons without 1,000 kills, unless you literally attacked only tanks and I guess maybe, but even then you have to fully attack a lot of things. Like gain 1,000 kills, I feel like is a little weird to have an achievement. But ignoring that, everything else kind of covered. Get max upgrades for everything, including, you know, the levels. And then collect the weapon crates, which is the most annoying achievement, but that's just because the weapon crates are sometimes in really obnoxious areas that don't really make much sense to me. And then there's a few that are beat certain like areas with certain restrictions, but there's only one of those. It's not a big deal. Oh, open the loading bay doors apparently makes this frame run weird. But overall, it's a decent set. It's not... I think it's probably one of the most mid sets on the PS2. It doesn't make anything special of it, but it's also just a very mid game. So when it comes down to it, I think it's a worthy set for it, but that's about it. It fully explores everything in the game. There's no secrets that you're missing. There's no Easter eggs, sadly. But that's more of a limitation on the game versus the set. And so when it comes down to it, it's perfectly mid as well. I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10 as well. And it's not like you could have gone much higher. Like, there's no super specific challenges that make it harder. There's no heavy restrictions you could have done. And so it becomes a bit of a a bit of a problem. There's a couple bosses that I think you could have done certain achievements for to make it matter, but even then, that's just being nitpicky, and it's just it would be very annoying. But we're gonna go in here and finish this mission and basically call it. So I'd probably give this game a a flat 6 across the board if I'm being nice. And if you really don't like the game, it's basically a 5 out of 10 across the board as well. But with that, that's kind of the end of this little review, both for the game and the set. I'd give it a 6 out of 10 on both. It's serviceable. If you want to get a nice badge on RA, it's not too bad. I actually got number 1 on this mission just now for most kills, which I didn't know that. But yeah, with that, I think that's Iron Man. And if you want to, go check it out. It's not a bad experience. And if you want more PS2 badges, it's a pretty easy one to get.